Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie. And let's talk about, before the show starts, y'all, we're going to talk about Sister Wives, the Tell All Part 1. I cannot remember for the life of me what season this is. Maybe season 100, not sure. But let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all the y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice. Welcome back, everybody. This is Auntie. It's season 20. I could not remember what season it was. If you are a member of Auntie's Advice, we're going to be doing a watch party tonight. So bring your desserts, your drinks, your whatever you have, and we're going to be watching it together. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, yeah, we're gonna watch it together tonight. So anyway, and anywho, I wanted to go over Sister Wives, the Till All Part One. It was a lot that went on in this particular episode. And yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. Um so when they opened it up, of course we had Suki. And when they opened up the till all, they wanted to kind of break the tension, I guess. And so she started each conversation off with what is something that they can do that they did years ago that they can still do that people don't know about. So Kody said that he can do a handstand because it's difficult for people to do it. I was like, okay. Um, Christine said that she can sing like the Disney characters. I believe it was Snow White. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. Janelle said that she could play the piano, but she could not remember the major keys that she needed to play. So she kind of backed off of that. And what did Meri say? I can't remember what Meri said. Y'all tell me downtown in the chat because I don't remember. And so, of course, they went through that. And I was like, okay, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to what we all want to talk about. Okay. So after Suki does that, she wants to talk about now Coyote Pass. And okay. Okay. I just was like, what is going on? So she opens up the conversation about Coyote Pass. This is what we all been wanting to talk about. So, she said, can we talk about Coyote Pass? She said there's a lot of conversations that have been going on in the last 4 years about Coyote Pass and everybody coming together to finalize the sale of the land. And then she shows a clip and she says, let's discuss it. And so we all know that Coyote was passed. We know what it was sold for, what parcels of land went to each one of the sister wives. Of course, we all know that there was some complication thrown in the game because when Christine ended up leaving and leaving Kody in the family, she gave her shares over. And so those shares, of course, we all know were divided by Kody and Robin. But there's been a lot of controversy about who and what happened during the sale of Coyote Pass. We all have the understanding that Kody has indicated that he and Janelle were going to do a side deal. We'll get to that. And then I'm going to give you all a poll. You know what? Let me do the poll right now. Let's just do it right now. So that by the time we get to the conversation, you would have already made a decision about what you think. So hold on a second. Let me put the poll up. I am so curious to see what you all think about it. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly do appreciate it. I really, really do. Every time you all show up, it gives me the incentive to show up. So okay, so the poll question is out there. Take your time. Did Janelle make a side deal with Kody? So we'll come back to that at the end to see what the votes are on that. Okay. I'll give my opinion about what I think happened and whether or not I believe that Janelle did a side deal. So, anyway, so Suki is, at this point asking about it. And she said, can we discuss it? So Meri said, why nobody spoke their minds, why they haven't said anything each to each other. She says, I'm not actually sure I ever had a dream of being out on Coyote Pass. Now, this answer from Meri came from Suki asking each one of them, or each one of the wives, if they had intention on staying on Coyote Pass, being excited that they had brought the land together, being excited to live on it. And Meri basically said she didn't want to stay on the land. Meri said nobody really wanted to live out there. She said Christine wanted to live out there. I'm sorry, Janelle. I'm sorry, I'm getting the names wrong. Janelle said that she never really wanted to live out there. Nobody really ever wanted to live out there. She said that Christine wanted to live out there. And she said that Meri would have lived out there had everybody else done it. She said Kody mostly wanted to sell it. She said Meri wanted to sell it, and she said, and it just felt like it was wrong. Robin said that she wanted to live on the land and that she felt like not living on the land was betraying herself and the family by not giving in, right? But she felt like she was running out of choices. Then they start talking about this title, the title of the land. So they show us the four parcels of the land, who owned what, whatever. It came out that Kody and Robin owned the majority of the land. The next person that owned a large portion of the land was Janelle. Meri only owned 1/3 of the land, and so did Christine. But it just did not, it wasn't a big deal with Christine. I don't know why it was such a big deal with Meri, because Christine did not own a lot of the land either when we looked at the plots, right? So they said that they tried to talk to Meri and tried to get Meri to sell the land, to come to an agreement with what was happening with Coyote Pass. And Meri adamantly denies being difficult, indicates that she felt like she was being backdoored by Janelle and Kody because Kody put it out there. I just want to say this real quick because I feel it in my heart to say it. Why is it that these women, no, I'm not going to say these women, why is it that Meri doesn't believe anything that Kody says? She believes it's all a lie. He's narcissistic. He's difficult to deal with, all that. But she believes Kody when he says that Janelle was trying to backdoor her. Now, from what we saw during the season, we saw Janelle in partnership with Meri. The first time we saw on air, on the show, Janelle have a conversation with Meri about the land. Meri was basically unwilling to work with Janelle. Let's just go back down memory lane. She was unwilling to work with Janelle on this land, and as a matter of fact, she had a sidebar conversation with both Kody and Robin, basically snitching about the conversation that she had previously had with Janelle. Meri told Janelle during a conversation that she trusted Kody and that she did not think that she had a reason not to. She thought that Kody would be fair with the land, while Janelle was saying, "Look, I'm telling you, I don't believe that it's going to be fair. I believe the two of us need to get together. Maybe we need to hire an attorney so that we can get our proper share off of the land." Now, all of a sudden, once Meri found out that Kody did not care too much for her, did not care about her, now all of a sudden Meri starts working with Janelle. I just want to remind people of some of the events that took place. And I'm sure that y'all remember that in season 19, this conversation actually happened. When Meri went to have the conversation with Kody and Robin, she was basically laughing at the very thought that Kody would leave her out of this, that he would not be fair about the situation. But as we all know, Kody has to buy Robin more jewelry and he has to buy Robin more paintings to put in the house. And Kody did not care about Meri at all, although Meri thought that she did. I remember when Kody was moving Meri and told Meri that she was the favorite ex wife. She gloated in it, she was happy with it. But it was not until she realized that what Janelle was saying was true and accurate that Meri became concerned enough to start working with Janelle. Do y'all remember that? If you do, put a thumbs up in the chat. Janelle had always been trying to work with Meri. Period, point blank, poo. She saw it as, let's get together. We got, it's 2 on 2. The two of them are together and they're going to ride or die with each other. You and I need to work together as well. But this was not something that Meri wanted to do. They talked about the conversation where Janelle was being facetious on a video call with Meri, where she was saying, I got a shy wife. She's so pretty. She's really pretty. And she ran the tape on that. And Suki was basically asking, what was that about? You know, although we could all deduce what that was about, right, with Janelle. Janelle said, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Okay. But she, is the only wife or the only pretty wife. Like, is that slamming us? Meri didn't really laugh nor respond to this. And so, of course, some people had the side eye on her. And that's what Meri said. The only wife or the only pretty wife is he slamming us. And so Janelle was like, yeah, I think so. Because none of us were shy. And Janelle was like, I guess that's his type, submissive, shy, and pretty. But whatever, okay. Side note, Meri, Janelle said, I just had to have an ex-wife clubs for just a moment. But Meri never wanted to have an ex-wife club with Janelle. She didn't want it. Mary Janelle said, why the two of us are not friends, I feel like at least I had an ally to fight for my part of the property. However, in this reunion, or to tell all part one, we see that Meri has backpedaled and pussy popped off of that. And now she's saying there was a side deal. Which one is it? Which one do you all believe? I'll go back to the poll and I'll see what you all think about it. Um, Meri says they could have just pulled up. So they start talking about, the situation down at Coyote Pass when Janelle and Meri were going down there to sign the final documents, the closing documents to finally sell Coyote Pass, and how Janelle and Meri decided to sit in the cars and wait for them to come, right? The two of them was sitting in their car, and they did not interact with each other. They talked about how it felt awkward, and they were like, "Okay, we're not getting out the car and closing the door." And and said they did say hi, they did their little niceties, right? But it was all fake. It was all fake. Meri said that she did not endorse fakeness, and she didn't want to pretend like everything was okay. But Meri was doing that because Meri was the one who wanted to make the eye contact. She was the one that was on record saying she wanted to have the eye contact. She was on record saying that she was disappointed that she did not have eye contact with Robin and with Kody. Come to find out, after Suki kind of pressed a little bit more, that they have been sitting there waiting over an hour for Kody and Robin to show up. And when they did show up, they showed up and didn't have any apology out of their mouth. They just got out of the car and did not want to have any interaction with both Janelle or Meri. I thought that was really rude. I thought it was very interesting that they shared that with us, that they had been sitting there waiting a whole entire hour on Coyote Pass. So this was brought up to Kody, and Kody said Robin hates girl games. So now we have a whole conversation about girl games, what girl games are, or whatever. He said that Robin reads nuanced, way different than he does. Okay. Meri said, when asked about this situation, that everybody has a different perspective because what we all know and whatever conversations that have been happening prior to that, we all went into a different perspective. Jen was not feeling it at all. At all. Jen said, well, bless your heart. Jen wanted to dominate the conversation. I think that Jen did, because I think that Meri has proven over the times that she can be wishy-washy and she can go back and forth and act as if nothing has happened, yet sit and, complain about this whole entire situation. Jen said that she thought that it was hilarious because they kind of forgot to mention about the hour. Meri did not bring that, the hour wait. She said it was a whole hour that they were waiting. And so Jim was like, so explain to me why they should then first get out of the car to go and greet them after they had been sitting there waiting an hour. If you had been sitting there waiting for someone for an hour, would you be excited about jumping out of the car and going to meet them? No, you would not. So Suki asked, so let me ask you a question. Do you think you and Robin might have misread the situation when you got there? Kody said the high level of awkwardness in this wasn't mine and Robin's to own. What does Kody mean about owning? He always talks in these broken sentences and I don't know what he call a Codyisms, but it absolutely was his and Robin to own, especially if they had gotten there an hour late. He said it's ours to share. So he wants this to be a corporate thing, like we all were wrong. No, you were wrong, Robin were wrong. First of all, in my community, the Black community, we were always taught when you enter into a room or you're the last one coming in, you are the one that's supposed to speak. It's not the host. It shouldn't have been Janelle. It shouldn't have been Meri. It should have been them. You're the last ones to come. Then you should be speaking almost as if you're entering into a room. So I thought it was very rude of Robin and Kody not to address the women, not to say hi, not to apologize for being late. But this is Robin and Kody. Meri was trying to, when we saw that particular episode, Meri was trying to engage and trying to have contact to kind of read the room and see whether or not they were even open to a hello, how are you all doing, and that never happened. So of course Meri was very disappointed. Janelle, she didn't care one way or the other whether or not she got that from them, right? And so Suki said, so what is the girl games that you would talk about? So Kody said that he believes that girl games are going on and that they're undermining a person's character. He said talking about another girl, how to another person, you know, and he believes that Robin, gets tired of that. Um, he said they're talking about me and how he's going to rob them all the time. He said all I wanted was to not talk to them. He didn't want to talk to them, but when he did decide to talk to them to do this apology tour, they had to comply, which sometimes is what makes me very angry, Janelle and Christine, that when Kody barks or Kody says something, they all jump. I don't know if I will to have an apology tour from Kody, a conversation with Kody, right? Unless it was on my terms. I'll let you know when I'm ready to talk. But it appears that everybody dropped what they were doing, swallowed what they were chewing to oblige Kody. I don't know whether or not this is in the TLC contract and that they're obligated, right? But I absolutely probably would have broken my contract. Okay. Gail Cooper, I can see your comment. It says Janelle is shady. I can't wait to get in and have that discussion with you. So he says that Meri, is antagonistic all the time. He says she's quit talking to him because he doesn't like Jen. I disagree with that. I think that Meri stopped talking to Kody, period. Um, I think that she felt like she had to protect Jen, but I don't believe that Jen is the reason why they don't have a great relationship with each other. Kody said it's okay for him to not like Jen, but Mary's like, if you go after my friends, I'm going to bury you. I believe that because when he did go on his fake apology tour, as soon as he said something about Jen, she chewed his head off. He said he recognizes Jen, but he doesn't care for her at all. Kody was asked, who told you not to talk about Jen? He said, Meri. Because he said Meri said that she would MURDE, if he talks bad about her friends. And Meri has been very hard with Kody about that. I think that he needs to get to a place where he doesn't even involve Jen. Maybe we'll see less of her. He said, she always says, talk to Meri for me. Why don't you call Meri? Why don't you get her on board? This is Robin. Why don't you get her on our side or whatever? He said it was always that way that she won't talk to me. He says, I'm like, well, if I need to solve that problem, I need Robin or someone else to come in and run interference. So Suki asks, why did you say what you said about Robin being submissive? I mean, why do you think that Janelle said that? Kody said we got into a conversation earlier as we were trying to get everything together, and we did have a lot of conversations as it referred to Coyote Pass, and we were trying to work out a deal. And Janelle said, I was like, he got a shy, pretty wife who won't let him do. No, Kody said that Janelle said she got a shy, he has a shy, pretty wife, and she won't let him, Robin won't let him do anything wrong. Bottom line is, there is a whole bunch of he say, she say about the house. Now, the backdoor deal situation, they talked about the backdoor deal situation. Janelle said that. So when Meri was asked whether or not she believed that there was a backdoor deal and that Janelle was heading this up, Meri at first said she didn't know. But, excuse me, as the conversation continued, Meri became more sure that Janelle was in this backdoor deal. I don't know if a lot of it had to do with Jen's influence or not, but Meri started switching up. Janelle said she didn't have a backdoor deal. Now, we saw a conversation where Janelle admitted that Kody said, I should just sell the land from up underneath basically everybody. And Janelle said, well, you can. You can sell it from under everybody, but let's get the land sold. So Kody indicated that they had a contract on it. Janelle wanted her money and was afraid that the deal was not going to go through, right, y'all? So Janelle was like trying to do whatever she could do to get the deal to go through, including working in cahoots with Meri against both Kody and Robin. So Kody took it that when Janelle said you could sell it, that that Janelle was pushing this agenda to sell it behind Mary's back. Janelle is denying this and saying, my attorneys gave me some options. They gave me options about what I can do, what I should do with Kody in order to get this thing done. And so Janelle is denying the fact that she was in a backdoor deal to sell Coyote Pass. Meri is saying that they had offered something. She decided that unless her name was on everything, she was going to be the roadblock. Robin says that once she heard the deal that Kody and Janelle was working, that she decided, I'm going to make him do the right thing. Now, of course, we see Robin. She sits out there and cries uh, about how she is seeing Kody handle the other sister wives. She recalls a conversation that her and Kody both had about when Meri had given over her birthright and divorced Kody so that Robin and Kody could legally marry so he could adopt their children. Robin said that during that time period, she was afraid. She did not know if this was something she wanted to sign or something she wanted to get into. So she said that she had asked Kody a question and said, if I decide I want to leave, do you promise, tell me what you're going to do, promise whatever. At that time, Robin said that Kody said, if one of my wives were to leave, I would be that man that will buy them a house down the street. And she held on to that. And she said, as all of this stuff started happening, okay, she said, as she held on to this promise that Kody made, when all the stuff was going on in the house and the sale of Coyote Pass was going to hell in a handbasket, she had asked Kody, where's this man? I don't know who you are anymore. Hey, seriously, Chiny, Habu, welcome. Let me tell you this. Robin said that she was going to be a stumbling block, but what Robin ended up doing is, according to Meri and Janelle, was throwing a monkey wrench in. Now, Kody said that the first offer that they had on the home, they did actually lose it, but then the people came back again, so they really wanted to buy Coyote Pass. I'd be interested in what they're doing with it, but anyway. And at this time, right before the deal was about to be made, right, Robin comes with a NDA, a non-disclosure. You can't talk about it. So Meri said they were trying to silence me. Now, this silencing wasn't Janelle. They had already had a deal on the table. The problem was that Robin threw a monkey wrench in the plan, which is another reason why I'm kind of side eyeing everything, because it was never Janelle. Let's go back some episodes or some seasons, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. Do we all remember when the families were all living in Vegas and they all decided one by one that they were going to move out of Vegas and get rid of the homes? Janelle ended up getting a bad deal out of that situation. I can't remember why it was, but she did. And during that bad deal, we saw Janelle go from an apartment, I believe it was, to living out on Coyote Pass in a trailer. Janelle then talked about some of the financial struggles or some of the conflicts, right, with where she was going to stay, what she was going to get at X, Y, and Z. I believe if Janelle was motivated, right, to sell the home, it was based on feeling like they gave her a shisty deal that caused her to have to live out on Coyote Pass. Do y'all remember when she wouldn't brought the RV? Kody wouldn't even hardly go over there to help. I think that if Janelle, and I'm saying if Janelle was doing a backdoor deal, I believe that she was doing a backdoor deal simply because she felt like they had already gotten over on her. On this episode tonight that we're going to be watching in the live party, it appears that they're going to be talking about how Meri, when she sold her home in Vegas, that all of the proceeds of that home went to Robin. Meri indicated that she had been paying all the bills out there on that home, all of them. While Robin says no, Kody was paying for the insurance, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Now, there's some other things that are going to come up, some things that we kind of found out about in the very first apology, that very first apology that Kody had with Janelle. When Kody first had the apology tour, was on the first leg of the apology tour, he had mentioned that he did not keep Janelle safe and that there were some things that he should have addressed. It appeared to me from that apology, that leg of the apology tour, that Kody was admitting that Meri was very nice, that she was harmful to Janelle. Janelle also discussed it as well, and I did a video. I believe it was yesterday about that. So y'all go and look at that video. Was it yesterday or Friday? I don't know. My days is running together. But um, it was during that conversation that I realized, right, that Meri really was creating a hostile environment, in my opinion, for Janelle to live in. Again, as I've said, Meri is going to come out on one of these tell all part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say that she really never liked Janelle because Janelle was married to her brother. So Meri came in with that against holding on to that in a whole relationship that she had with Janelle. So it's easy for Meri to look at Janelle and think that Janelle was trying to set her up, trying to rob her of something. Now Kody, and because of this dissension in the ranks, now it makes Robin appear to be this savior, someone who was a roadblock and who stepped out to protect Meri. No, I don't think so. Now, when you're coming with a non disclosure agreement, Meri said it was their intention to shut her mouth out. Do I believe that Janelle gave a good defense, that she did not do anything wrong and that she was not trying to do a side deal with Kody? No. I don't think that Janelle did a good job defending herself from those accusations. Not at all. I think that it has left suspicion on whether or not there was a backdoor deal. And again, if there was a backdoor deal and Janelle felt like y'all are not going to get over on me again, I think it's justified. And I know I'm probably wrong for saying that because stealing from somebody, you know, there's never a good excuse to steal from somebody. However, Kody ended up coming out and saying that Meri, according to how the contract was written, wasn't owed anything. And that if she was going to get anything, it was going to be on the good grace from him and Robin. Here's another thing I think. I think that Kody and Robin didn't want to give her anything because of the embarrassment from the catfish. And Kody had one conversation with Janelle and made it appear that Janelle was teaming up and working with him. Again, I don't believe that Janelle defended herself properly. I don't think that what she said was enough. I think that she left too many holes, always trying to cover up. Kody mentioned that even in the Tell All Part One, that he still, really likes Janelle, right? And he said, I may still love her or be in love with her. I absolutely think from the apology tour part one slash Janelle that the two of them are still in love with each other. But Janelle, I believe, was following behind Christine. And I think that she jumped the gun. Janelle has said that, the kids were the first thing and everything was about the kids, but I don't agree with that. Oh, and by the way, Janelle did go to the church and get a release. Let me see what the vote says on whether or not you all believe that there was a side deal, and then I'll tell y'all whether or not I think there was a side deal. Absolutely, Stella. Yes. Okay. I don't believe nothing Robin say either, to be honest with you. Did Janelle make a side deal with Kody? 53% of you all out of 60 votes said yes. So I am going to drop the link because and I'm gonna drop it just shortly because if y'all don't click on it, we're gonna go on. Okay, we're gonna go on about our business. Um, wow. 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 So let's see what y'all think. So I dropped the link. You can come up. You don't have to show yourself, but just show yourself in the background should you decide that you want to hit the link and you want to have a conversation about it. Here's what I think. I believe that Janelle proposed a backdoor deal with Kody. I do. I think that Janelle was tired of feeling like she was always getting the short end of the stick. And I believe that Janelle was afraid because the first one fell through. I think that she was afraid because Meri had been inconsistent with her communication. Meri had indicated that she wasn't going to sign anything and she was going to hold up the sale of the property. I believe both Kody, Janelle, and Christine all have a fear of Meri's wrath. And I believe that Janelle did not want to deal with Meri that way anymore. And that Janelle, out of fear, did a side door deal with the devil. I am not convinced that Janelle didn't. And as I said, I don't believe that her argument was strong enough to convince me, let alone Meri or anybody else, that she didn't do it. It just wasn't. I've seen Janelle, and I think that we all have seen them after 20 seasons. When Janelle is confident, when Janelle is being honest, when Janelle is being business minded. Janelle has always been a business minded person. I've seen Janelle in the past backpedaling booty pop off of stuff, saying that, I wasn't in control of the finances. I was just doing a bookkeeping. I've always given Janelle the side eye about that. Like, always. But I do believe that out of fear, Janelle did a side door deal with the devil and thought that the devil won't the devil, that the devil was not going to expose her. And I believe that there was always and has always been bad blood between Meri and Janelle. So why not? Let me see. I see there's some comments down in the comment section. Let me see. I wonder if Kody said he was apologizing to Janelle for not protecting her from Meri because he wanted to create some friction between Janelle and Meri. Child, he ain't never have to do that, okay? Kody and Robin do nothing but lie. Okay. Wendy says, I'm not mad at Janelle, in my opinion. Me either. Me either, but I do think that she did a backdoor deal. Stark has reported that they had drawn up the papers September of 2024 and nothing was signed until January of 2025. And even then, Robin wouldn't sign till March. So I could see her getting tired of waiting. Deirdre said, yeah, she's a little sus. Okay. Wendy said we have to be selfish with our money. Okay. It's the truth. I do think that Janelle did a side door deal. I think she got tired of the fool-la-la. She had already been living with her daughter. She was had eyes of doing this farm. I think that the passing of her son, all of that, right, caused Janelle to say, I'm going to get what I can get, why I can get it before it's all gone, like everything else that I've lost. I think that the women should get a countersuit together or some kind of suit together, right? To sue the out of them, to collect their money back from Kody and Robin for that big, huge house. I've noticed that they've talked about it. I don't know whether or not, how involved that's going to be tonight. But I think that they should get something together or do something with one another, right? To ensure that they get that money back that went into that McMansion that Robin and Kody purchased, and now they have an even bigger one. I don't know why they have not gotten together to sue for all of that. One thing that we've noticed, right? There has never been really any unity in this. Even when we started watching this 20 seasons ago, there was never any unity. It was all a fake. It was all fake. It was all fake. Okay. Wendy says, after all that Janelle has been through, I don't put any blame on her. Deirdre said, I still think she wants Kody too. I think so too. Wendy said, she was being smart. Absolutely. And if you got to cut Meri out, cut her out. Cut her ass out. And it's so sad because I don't even think Meri and I are the same age. And Meri's skin looks like a leather saddle. But everybody else is reversing and looking younger, even Robin. Meri looks like a leather saddle that you put on the back of a horse and you ride her all day. That skin is so jacked up. I don't know if she needs to get a link to my YouTube channel and get some of the the skincare products that I use for my face. Maybe I need to send it to her in a group chat or in her private DMs. But her skin looks hella bad. And I think it's from all of those years of being angry. Her lips is, got, you know, the, do I got wrinkles? Let me see. She needs to do some work because her face absolutely looks rideable at the county fair. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to hop off of here. I just wanted to kind of go over that again. If you are a member of Auntie's Advice, we will be doing a watch party. Don't know if I'm going to be around the whole time, but I'll make sure that we get in there and we, get ourselves going again, bring you a drink or whatever. I was going to eat ice cream, but I'm going to go and get my ice cream now so it's not laying on my belly when I go to bed tonight. I love all of you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Um, yeah, let's do it, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.